So you're thinking about the Logitech Z200 speakers, right? You've seen the great reviews, the affordable price, and you're probably ready to click buy. But if you're expecting premium sound for your desk, you need to hear about the three major problems nobody's talking about. Therefore, in this honest review, I'm going to show you exactly why. For some of you, buying these could be a huge mistake. For the best price, click the link in the description. Let's start with a brutal truth. The Logitech Z200 is not a bad product. It has a 4.4-star rating on Amazon for a reason. They're cheap, they're simple, and they make sound. But that's the point. The hype makes them sound like a sonic revolution, and they're just speakers. Therefore, if you're upgrading from your laptop's tin-can audio, you will notice a difference. However, if you have any experience with decent audio, you will notice the problems immediately. The first surprise, that room-filling sound claim. Let's dive in. Act 1. The sound illusion. The product page boasts rich stereo sound with 10 watts of power. They talk about passive radiators for bass extension. It sounds promising, but here's what surprised me. The moment you turn them on, you get sound. It's fine. It's better than nothing. However, the rich description is a stretch. The sound profile is incredibly thin. There's a hint of bass when you crank the dial, but it becomes a distorted, muddy rumble rather than deep, punchy lows. Therefore, your music loses all its texture. It's like eating a salad with no dressing. Technically, it's food, but is it enjoyable? The tone control dial is a joke. It's not a bass adjustment. It's a make everything sound worse dial. Think of it as a volume knob for disappointment. But wait, there's a second, bigger issue. The stereo image, or should I say, the lack of one. For speakers that are meant to be placed apart, the stereo separation is almost non-existent. Therefore, you don't get that wide, immersive soundstage. Everything feels crammed into the center. Gaming or watching movies with these, you won't hear distinct directional audio. A car whooshing from left to right on screen just gets slightly louder. It's a mono experience wearing a stereo disguise. That's problem number 2. Are you starting to see the gap between the marketing and reality? Good. Because the third problem is the most frustrating of all. But before we get there, a quick joke. What do you call a speaker with no highs and no lows? A Logitech Z200. Okay, that was mean. They do have some highs. Act 2. The build and convenience compromise. Now, the simple controls are a genuine plus. The volume and bass knob on the right speaker is handy. The headphone jack on the front is super useful for private listening. You can plug in 2 devices. These are good features, but here's the contrarian snapback. The build quality feels cheap, and not just it's affordable cheap. It's hollow, lightweight plastic that resonates. Therefore, when you do push that bass dial, the entire speaker cabinet vibrates and buzzes. It's like the speaker is clearing its throat every time a kick drum hits. It's distracting. For $70, you might expect a bit more heft, a bit more solidity. Therefore, let's talk about that price. $73.95. At that point, you are in a very competitive bracket. But the problem isn't just the Z200 itself. It's the alternatives you're ignoring. Therefore, the major issue, the core reason for this don't buy review, is the value proposition. You are paying for the Logitech name and extreme convenience, not for sound fidelity. It's the audio equivalent of buying a fast food burger. It solves the hunger, but it's not a good meal. Need another joke? These speakers are so light, I think they're made from recycled dreams and missed audio frequencies. Act 3. The verdict and who should actually buy them. So after all this, who are these for? Let's be fair. If you need basic, better-than-nothing audio for a secondary PC, a garage setup, or a kid's room, the Z200 is acceptable. The plug-and-play simplicity is perfect for non-techies. But if you are a primary computer user, a music lover, a gamer, or anyone who cares about sound, you can do better. Therefore, my resolution is this. See these as utility speakers, not multimedia speakers. They are a tool, not an experience. But what should you get instead? That's the crucial question. Therefore, at this price, you should look at brands like Creative or even Edifier for more balanced sound. Sometimes, spending just $20 more opens up a world of clarity and fuller sound. The Z200 wins on convenience but fails on acoustic performance. It's a trade-off. Are you willing to make it? For the vast majority of you watching, the answer should be no. You deserve better sound for your money. Here's the final joke. I used these to listen to a podcast about audio quality. The irony was not lost on me, but the high-end details sure were. Therefore, here is my final take. Don't buy the Logitech Z200 if you have any expectations for good bass, clear stereo separation, or a solid build. The problems with thin sound and distorting bass are real. However, if you need the simplest possible solution and sound quality is your absolute last priority, they'll work. But you clicked on this video because you were skeptical. Trust that instinct. Therefore, for a better alternative and the best price on the Z200, if you're still curious, click the link in the description below. You've been warned. Make the right choice.